The man didn't want to go to the battlefield, so his teammates chained him up tight with iron links. The other end of the chain was fixed deep into a boulder. They left him with a rifle, a few bullets, and a small amount of food. Their plan was to leave him there to survive on his own. Before leaving, his teammate warned him. If he dared to shoot at them from behind, they'd come back and end him. But right after they left, the man started assembling the rifle. He loaded the bullets, but it was already too late. His teammates had vanished from sight. If he wanted to survive, he had to escape as soon as possible. So he fired at the iron chain, but it didn't break. Instead, the recoil left him in pain. He began to search through the supplies. He found a pair of glasses. He used a multi-tool to remove both lenses. Then he snapped a pine twig and chewed it up in his mouth. Turns out he was trying to make glue. Next, he glued the lenses together. Once they were completely dry, he filled them with water using a hollow twig. And just like that, he made a homemade magnifying glass. He was like a survival expert in the wild. He gathered dried plants and placed them on the chain link. Using the magnifying glass, he focused sunlight to start a fire. Then he quickly poured cold water on the metal. The sudden change in temperature didn't loosen the chain. Still, he refused to give up. He kept repeating the process, burning away bits of the rock, little by little. Time passed, no one knows how long. The exposed iron spike grew longer and longer. It gave him hope to stay alive, but the dry plants around him were running out. No matter how hard he tried, the iron spike stayed stuck in the rock. Then he remembered he still had a few spare bullets. He pulled off the tips, poured all the gunpowder into the hole. He lit dry grass on fire, covered his head with his shirt, and took cover. With a loud explosion, he thought for sure it had worked, but the blast wasn't strong enough. The chain didn't break. Struggling, he dragged over a large rock. This was his last shot. Every swing of the stone was driven by the will to live. Every strike was his way of resisting the world of war. He used every last bit of strength from daylight into the dead of night. Finally, he pulled the iron spike free. He screamed toward the sky. The chain couldn't hold his free spirit. The chain still dragged at his feet, but as long as it remained, he would always be a fugitive. He slung the rifle over his shoulder and walked toward the life he chose.